Welcome back to another episode of the We Are Change talk show. I'm very proud to say that due to the success of the first 2 episodes, this show is now available on YouTube, DTube, Facebook, Steemit and Top Buzz. We really appreciate your support here at We Are Change. Let's start taking calls.
So we're here with Paul Lawrence. Go ahead, Paul, you're on the air.
How you going, Beth?
I'm well. Now, you've been living a real-life horror story. Can you please inform the viewers on when this all began?
Well, originally I was diagnosed with chordoma, spinal tumours in 2010. I went through a couple of world first surgeries, 21.5-hour operations where they completely removed 3 vertebrae from my spine. And basically rebuilt me the best they could. As I said, it had never been done before. They imaged it had 3 vertebrae completely removed.
Devastating. This was a very severe surgery.
At that stage, I had a life expectancy of about a month. So it was either someone's going to operate or we die.
That's
only one doctor actually that was willing to operate and have a go at it. Miraculously, we managed to pull it off.
You're on death's doorstep, and you've had numerous long-term complications related to your palliative doses of radiotherapy. This would have taken a toll on your health as well.
The problem started probably after the radiation. Before I had the radiation, after the initial surgeries, I did have a couple of recurrences. I also had a couple of breakdowns in hardware.
Yeah.
But they were always able to operate and basically repair me again, you know. But then in 2014, with the reoccurrences, I was talking to a dose of 70-gray radiation, which is a ridiculously high dose of radiation.
It's outrageous.
Yeah.
And they said there wasn't enough bone stock to keep the hardware in place.
Sorry?
They said there wasn't enough bone stock to keep the hardware in place.
No, after the radiation, that caused the bones to all start breaking down. So when I had another breakdown of the hardware, they x-rayed and said, sorry, there's nothing more we can do for you. The radiation has caused that much damage that if we do operate, the wounds won't heal. There's nothing to reattach the hardware to anyway, because the bones are that deteriorated.
And you've supplied all the x-rays to We Are Change. The following images that you will see, some might find disturbing. They are very graphic. And and you spent 40 hours, I believe, in surgery. This is...
Actually, they did it. They had to break it in half because like a 40-hour surgery isn't feasible.
No.
So they basically did 2 21.5-hour operations about 6 weeks apart.
That's just mind-boggling how you would prepare yourself mentally for such an operation, and your family would have been devastated going through this whole...
Totally honest with you, I cruised through it.
Oh, right.
Totally honest, believe it or not, after having 3 vertebrae removed, 21.5-hour surgery, I was out of bed in 3 days.
Yeah, right.
Because I pushed myself. I had to, you know what I mean?
You're a strong man, Paul.
I knew in the situation I was in, I could have potentially spent 6 to 9 months in hospital just doing rehab, you know what I mean?
That's right, post-op therapy, isn't it?
Exactly, so I dragged my ass out of bed as soon as I was capable, and I started basically doing my own physiotherapy, and I was home 8 days after surgery. And
the biggest downfall with the healthcare system is the dose of radiation that you received. That's the whole problem. And a lot of your issues stem from this. When it can damage your body that badly, I don't know how they can classify this as a treatment for a human being. No, when a natural therapy should have been the first option for a condition such as yours. This is very traumatizing to go through. Well, had we gone the natural therapy route, I'd still be operable. Yes. They could still fix the hardware. Like at the moment, the hardware is that badly broken down
I have 3 separate pieces of titanium actually protruding through the skin on my back.
Yeah, that's that's dreadful, and that's extremely severe.
Basically, my poor partner is just left to make me as comfortable as she can. That's the instructions I gave her.
And your pain is very debilitating.
Considering I don't actually have a terminal condition anymore, I mean, what am I just expected to lie here and just break down over years and depart that way?
Yeah, it's shocking. Nobody should have to live like that. What sort of medication have the doctors prescribed you?
I'm on fentanyl patches.
Oh, okay.
I was using cannabis and the oil for quite a while for pain, but the degree of pain I'm doing at the moment, because like literally I've been 2 years with a broken back now.
Yeah, it's very sad to hear this.
Yeah, fentanyl is the only thing that's giving me any sort of relief from the pain at all.
And for those that don't know, that's a lot stronger than morphine, fentanyl.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the strength, but yeah, that's what I'm on.
And have you set up a GoFundMe to provide financial aid with your operations, medical costs, and assisted fees?
Yeah, some friends up in Newcastle actually set up that page for me. It's been stagnant for a while now, but yeah, they set it up for me quite a few months ago.
That's
It's the same with anything on them GoFundMe. Initially it has a little burst, but then it just peters off.
That's wonderful. We'll put a link in the description, so if people feel that they want to donate, I'm sure a lot of people will be struck with your situation, and a lot of heartfelt sympathies go your way. So have they organised a follow-up consultation with your general practitioner?
No, there's basically there's no plan.
Right.
I have a community nurse comes around 3 times a week to change the dressing on my back.
Mm-hmm. The general practitioner doesn't have much further to offer you, as apart from your nurse that's attending, changing your dressings, etc. You don't have much of a strategy for the future.
No, there's no. The only other strategy is they're talking to me about maybe putting me on different pain medications, get the pain. You know, if I get the spot where I can't handle the pain, but there's no physical plan to help me except offering more medication.
Yeah, that's right. And how's your mobility? Are you able to manoeuvre around?
I haven't left my house this year.
Yeah, right.
I basically get out of, I can't walk without a walker, and even when I say that only gets me as far as the bathroom. I've been broken that long. I'm on about a 60-degree tilt from the waist.
Yeah.
Like as I said, my back's broken. There's not much structure holding me up much any longer.
That's dreadful.
So, even standing up is really not on. Walking's not really an option. Most of my days spent laying on the lounge, and then I go to bed, and then I get up the next morning and lie on the lounge all day.
Right, and you've got much of a support network, family and carers assisting you? Or?
No, my support network basically is my partner and my 12-year-old son.
Right, this would it would be a tremendous effort required.
People bag it out often enough, but I have attained quite a support network through social media.
Yeah. That's very valuable for yourself.
I think a bit much from it sometimes, but I've met a lot of good people through Facebook, and I've received a lot of physical and financial help through Facebook as well.
Wow, that's would have come as a godsend to yourself.
It certainly has, yeah. When, I don't have parents, I don't have any other family to rely on other than my partner and my child, basically, so it makes it rather hard on them as well.
Have you got much hope for the future? Will some of your pain be alleviated, would you say? Or?
No, I was just thinking to myself last night, how I've managed to get through the last couple of years when there really is no hope of me ever doing anything or seeing anything that I haven't already seen.
Yeah.
Pretty well done.
Well, that's
I can't travel, you know. It's that much of a job for my partner just to get me out of the house. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's very sad to hear, and you know, raising a young son, you know, a father is very valuable, and there's a lot of events that you would miss out on because of this condition.
Oh, there certainly is, mate. I see him do anything any longer, you know. He had his first concert last week, which is done for him too, which is great, but yeah, it'd be nice to go one day.
Absolutely. So it's devastating to see all the hardware that's been implanted into yourself, and I've seen some of the images. It is quite graphic.
It certainly is.
And is that in place at the moment, or
Is it what?
is that everything currently attached and in place at the moment, or will it need to be adjusted?
There is discussion about maybe they may have to put me in for a very minor procedure, because one of the bits of titanium sticking out is actually, you can see it coming physically loose.
Right.
It could be just removed, I think, without even cutting me open or anything, you know. For any human to physically have a look at my back, they would just look at it and go, no, that's not humanly possible.
Right.
They can't do that. They can't just leave you like that, can they?
No, it's a very extreme case, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And yeah, that's the situation I'm in. Everyone I know is in the same opinion. It's totally ridiculous. You surely can't be left like that, but unfortunately I've been left like this for 2 years now.
And it would have required a whole team of medical experts to analyse your reports and formulate a plan when it comes to surgery.
It certainly was.
Yeah.
Like the initial surgery was a cast of about 8 or 10 different doctors, from neurosurgeons to bone surgeons and plastic surgeons, etc., you know.
Yeah,
It was enormous.
it would have been. And there was talk that there's a new experimental drug that's going to increase bone density. You're not particularly keen on the medication.
I've looked at a few different trial drugs.
Yeah.
And after looking into each of them, there was no basis behind why they would recommend this to promote bone growth.
And you were just...
Even one of the things they recommended you to do, I can't remember the doctor's name, I think it was a Dr. White up at Randwick. He was a specialist in this particular area. They wanted me to stay in hospital for, I think it was 6 months, to have a needle, one particular needle every day. And when I looked into it and found there was actually no evidence anywhere that said this had ever done anything to promote bone growth in a human being, or even an animal. When I went back to him and said this, I said, look, I'm not really keen to do this trial because it doesn't look to me like there's any evidence to support it. You know what the answer was?
What was that?
You made the right decision. I'm so glad you did that.
Yeah, that's unexpected.
If me making the right decision is knocking it back,
yeah.
What the hell was it offering?
Why they are offering that? I know, it goes without saying.
And do the research and find out what they're offering you. You know, what the hell are they doing?
It just makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It's just saying, try anything, maybe it'll work if you like it.
It's like they're just running out of answers and they're trying to provide any sort of alternative, but even they're not confident within the surgeries. Even they haven't got full confidence in the medications or the surgeries.
No.
And that was a smart decision by the sounds of it, rejecting that offer. And you didn't want to. And you didn't want to extend.
I'm so disappointed in myself that I didn't research the radiotherapy.
Yeah.
Before that, you know,
absolutely.
Radiotherapy, I'd still be walking. I'd still be working. I'd be still working now with 3 vertebrae missing.
It's a big regret that you've got undertaking that.
I returned to work after the initial surgery after a couple of years and I got my stuff together. I changed careers and got into a role as a teacher. Yeah. Training people vocationally. yeah, but then we had the radiation, and then I've had to finish that as well.
It's just devastating that the solution was actually a big part of the problem, receiving massive doses of radiation that's going to affect your life permanently. And you didn't want an extended admission to Prince of Wales Hospital with further surgeries and medications. It's good that you rejected that. It's just sad that they don't...
There's no offer of surgery yet anyway. As I said, medication is all they've offered me. There has been no offer of surgery in the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So, no procedure. Had they offered some procedure that I thought may particularly help me, I would have jumped at it with open arms.
Yeah.
They could have removed some of this titanium that's physically sticking out of my body. That would have made my life, quality of life, somewhat better, you know. I shower 2 or 3 times a week these days if I'm lucky. Because even the act of just sitting in my plastic chair in the shower to have my partner wash me is too painful to sit up those days.
It's devastating to hear that, Paul. And
it's ridiculous.
yeah, well, we appreciate you sharing your story here at We Are Change. And
I thank you for listening to me.
And we'll definitely promote that GoFundMe account so you can get further financial aid. We can do our best here to promote that. We wish you all the best with your ongoing medical situation, and we hope no further problems arise with your medications or surgery.
I appreciate any help I can get, you know. There's a couple of messages I want to get out there. The first one is just do your own research, people. Don't just trust that they've got your best interests in mind. If they suggest some sort of treatment, look into it for yourself. Make sure that they're offering you the best treatment that you can get for your particular condition. Don't just accept willy-nilly every pill a doctor gives you when you walk in his office. That's not how we keep our bodies healthy.
Very wise advice. People are just too quick to listen to their general practitioner and take their word as law without doing their own research, gathering their own information and making a decision based on the evidence and information that they've researched themselves.
Even the fact they proclaim they run by, what is it, the Hippocratic Oath?
That's correct. Do no harm, that's right.
From my understanding, the greatest quote that was ever made by that man was that food is medicine.
Yes. And make an informed decision.
Direct quotes. Where did they lose that bit?
That's
Where
right.
did they lose that bit of medicine? Food is medicine.
Exactly. The pharmaceutical industry has monopolised global pain management, and they try and disregard any natural, effective methods of treatment because that is counteractive to their financial gains and profit margins.
The medical industry, that's what it is. It's become an industry.
That's correct.
Our health is an industry for people who earn millions of dollars in profit. That's wrong.
Because there's no money when it comes down to curing people. The money is providing scripts that need to be filled from chemists where they get medications distributed on an ongoing basis so they can guarantee their profits and returns will be coming in. It's all based on money and control, not people's health and well-being. It's very upsetting and very disturbing.
That's certainly right, mate. They don't have our best interests at hand. That's about all I can say.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Paul.
I strongly urge our viewers, if you've been suffering or have experienced extreme corruption, don't hesitate to contact us here at We Are Change. Now on to the next phone call.
On the line we have Beth from Sydney, who runs a paranormal investigations business. Thanks for joining us today, Beth.
Thank you for having me, Jeff. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. First off, how did this business begin?
It all started about 10 years ago when I was living in the UK for a couple of years, and I've always been fascinated by how there's a possibility of some objects being seen to move without any logical reason, and also, how sometimes there can be people that would know information about other people that they wouldn't have any idea of previously. So always had a fascination, and when living in the UK, I decided one weekend I might go and explore a haunted location, and pretty much took off from there. It was sort of, I went along pretty much once a month to all the different events around the UK because it's huge over there.
Interesting topic, and some of the buildings over there are centuries old, aren't they, which would be more prone to paranormal activity.
Yes, there's a lot more written history as opposed to Australia having only sort of a certain level of written history here.
Absolutely. So there was a lot of study involved to become knowledgeable on this topic.
Yeah, definitely. I began to really sort of crack open the books and start getting into reading more about the experiences that I was having. And then finally moving back to Australia, thought, there's going to be lots of other places like there are in the UK to go and do this. And I was bitterly disappointed because there were very, very few locations.
Okay.
It wasn't really picked up by then. So then I started my business, which was just literally an information website, and it just grown from there.
It took off. Now, what are some of the most frightening locations that you've attended?
There's one, I have to say it's an undisclosed location because the owners don't wish for it to be known.
Okay.
I know for some people, but it had quite intense activity that I witnessed, and not all of it I've been able to put down to plausible explanations as yet. So sounds of people, sort of walking down hallways when you know that you're the only people in the building.
Yeah, wow.
Bangs, people becoming very overtaken and overwhelmed. Really, really intense experiences in this location.
It's incredible.
And also in the UK, there was a building called the Ragged School Museum. And Ragged School is a term for public schooling when Queen Victoria rolled out public schooling for all children. Those who had ragged clothing would go to a ragged school. So this is a museum that's in dedication of that, and I saw all sorts of things and experienced a lot there that I think I was very spoiled to have, but it really does challenge your view on how the world really works. It changes you when you see things like that. So it's incredible.
I'd imagine it would, and some of the activity I'm sure you would counter would be like floorboards creaking, doors opening, unexplained circumstances, windows opening and shutting, that type of thing?
Yeah, exactly. There was chalk that flew across the room. There was a table that was moving, walking. It's one of the phenomena that I still haven't really been able to pin down as a plausible explanation for just yet. There was glass that was had smashed in midair and hit the ground.
That's fascinating. And is it a common practice, what you're involved in? Are you in demand? Do you receive a number of phone calls of people requiring your services?
I think if I was in the UK or the US, it would be a lot more people reaching out to the population. But yeah, I get emails almost on a daily basis, people wanting help regarding things that are happening in their home. Particularly here in Sydney, it's Western Sydney is where I am.
Very unexplained. Would you recommend folks at home purchase a Ouija board to contact loved ones that have passed?
Ouija boards are a very, very hot topic within the paranormal in general, let alone just with investigators. I personally have used a Ouija board more times than I've got hands and toes.
Wow.
I'm fine.
There was no portals opened up to the underworld or anything like that?
No, nothing as exciting as that.
Some people, they say they are possessed by a demon spirit and they have to be exorcised by a priest. Have you ever encountered anything along those lines?
Personally, myself, I haven't had someone who's claimed to be demonically possessed.
Yep.
Spirit possessed, yes.
Oh, right. Could be a possible mental health issue.
Yes, exactly.
And what does the future have in store for the business, Access Paranormal?
Well, I'm currently working on a membership site. I have often rolled out online courses. I'm currently working on that at the moment. I'm speaking at a couple of events as well throughout the year. I often do that too, which I absolutely love. Being out in the community and talking about this amazing topic. So yeah, lots of things are coming up for Access.
And some of the speeches you've given, a large audience has attended, have they?
Oh, yes, yes. Often I've spoken at Paracon Australia the last couple of years in a row. I've spoken at international events in Las Vegas,
Wow.
in Kentucky, US.
That's very impressive.
I'm not travelling as well, so it's not a hard decision to make.
Well done. And if somebody wanted to get in touch with your business, Access Paranormal, how would they go about doing that?
The best place to start will probably be the website, which is accessparanormal.com. I'm on there, there's all the information that you need, and there's a contact me section there as well. I'm also on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram too, so if you want to go and check out there, that's where I also am as well.
Well done. Well, you're on a variety of social media platforms. That's going to help get the word out there. Once again, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you've educated a lot of viewers on this very unexplained, fascinating subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, that just about wraps it up for another episode of the We Are Change talk show. I'm delighted to tell you we have had a sponsor step forward and is willing to provide high quality visual and sound equipment for the show here at We Are Change. If you'd like to see more episodes of this talk show, perhaps even a daily broadcast, the only way to make that happen is through Patreon. There'll be a link in the description. Any donation is appreciated. Thank you very much. I'm your host, Jeff O'Toole. Keep tuning in to the We Are Change talk show, where we expose corruption one episode at a time.